everybody, and welcome back to another video on the Dark Rooms podcast, or I guess another episode, I'm sorry. This is episode 48. We're on 48. 23 of season 2. 23 of season 2.
We know our own podcast.
Yes, we do. And today, we are finishing this thing, this tier list.
Not this thing.
Finishing in our recording session.
In our recording session, we're finishing.
Wait,
maybe not.
How long is this recording session?
We don't know.
We'll
figure it out
as far as we can. Yeah, we'll get as far as we can.
Alright, I don't know how much I have today. I might only have like an hour.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll figure it out.
Alright.
Yep.
Alright.
So yeah, our opinions on the Fazbear Frights Stories, we're putting them all into a big tier list that will be available after all the episodes have come out, I think, probably.
Yeah, also please remember, if you disagree, please subscribe and tell us why you would disagree with us.
Yeah.
Yes, do that. We have to average out our opinions on this tier list. So it's kind of like our conglomerate compromise tier list.
It's really weird to see like the opinions like weighed against each other, and it's like it's not any one of us is just their opinion.
So before we begin, should we change some stuff around, because all four of us should have read a story. And
I don't think Underscore has, but
oh, we were doing that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Yours wasn't that important, I don't think.
Yeah, his was room for one more. He was supposed to reread that one.
Oh yeah.
It's a good story.
Alright, okay.
I would like to start. I was reading, so I had to reread Fetch. And I didn't really explain myself well last time. Rereading it, I remember exactly why I hate this story, and I don't like it very much.
Oh,
okay.
So, not only was it slow and boring, to me at least, I thought it was very drawn out, and it didn't do a lot of interesting things. I hate the ending. I absolutely hate it. I was like halfway through, I remembered the ending, and I like cringed, because I like was not looking forward to it. So, let me remind you how the story ends. He destroys the dog, and for like the third time, he's like, man, I want my crush. And he's like, he doesn't think, hey, maybe that would be a bad idea at the current situation, because I didn't make sure the dog was actually dead. And then Fetch is like, oh, I'm gonna go retrieve your crush. So he's like, oh crap. So he goes to the house, no one's home. Now, what does he do? He hides in the bush and waits for his crush to get home, jumps out and says, you're about to get killed.
It's a little goofy.
He is just a kid, though, that's the thing.
You know what, Inky? I would agree. However, it has been told time and time again that he is very smart, and in this super smart class, he thinks through things, and this was so out of character, and so stupid, and so cringe, he hid in a bush.
People make mistakes.
Tell me more about how much you hate him.
Oh my gosh, I was like so uncomfortable listening to this. And then he's like, well, he gets arrested. Which, you know what, I don't blame him for getting arrested.
Yeah, it's him hiding in the bush and ambushing his crush, telling her that she's going to be killed by a robot dog. Is not framed as a good thing.
It's not.
What are you doing? Ambushing.
Oh my
gosh. It was so uncomfortable to listen to. And I just can't. I don't like this story. It's like it's my least favorite Fazbear Frights story.
That is interesting.
Least favorite of all time.
Of all time.
Worse than In the Flesh.
Worse than In the Flesh.
With the ending.
You are not based.
We're
not.
We're vetoing Psychic.
Yeah, you're being vetoed
ending,
on this.
I thought you were talking about the end where like Fetch is just like bye.
Oh yeah, that
and
also
then actually murders someone.
Yeah, that also.
That's just how it ends.
It ends
he
too
murders
quickly. Yeah,
someone
and
then
a good
goes.
ending.
I like the cliffhanger kind of thing.
I do.
You know,
it's not a cliffhanger. It's just Fetch saying bye.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
At the time, it was sort of a cliffhanger.
Anyways, I still like Fetch.
Fetch is the one story that I was uncomfortable listening to, because I don't.
You are very much being vetoed on this one.
I don't
I
care.
don't know what else to tell you.
Looking at the tier list, I would put it on B.
You're moving Fetch.
Oh my gosh.
You're moving Fetch.
Yeah,
all
I
right,
would put it.
Let's restate.
Wait, where did you say you want to move it?
I'd move to F if I could, but
Why don't we
Tier 3.
restate?
Jesus.
Why don't we restate our letter rankings for Fetch? Mine is high A.
Mine is high B.
I'll say high B.
I would say like C or
F?
D. No, not
Okay.
like it has some redeeming quality. It's a little
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
However,
I
I
think
found the majority of it boring. It is still like my least favorite, but
I think it gets a high B then.
yeah,
Top of B.
top of B.
Yeah.
Better than Blackbird, you think?
Yeah.
All right.
Behind Blackbird.
Behind Blackbird. Oh man.
All right.
Blackbird's pretty
Okay.
good, actually.
Yeah.
Blackbird's good, but it's Fetch. Oh man.
Fetch is
Alright.
classic.
Now,
I'll go next so that we so that
Yes.
Inky is like.
yeah, because Inky's is
yeah.
coming up. We haven't
Anyway.
done Inky's yet.
Yeah.
We'll
So
get there.
I had to read Coming Home because I hate that story so much. My opinions technically have changed
Have
because
they changed for the better or for the worse though? That's the thing.
my reread, I feel like it was better than the first read through that I ever had because I actually understood the story. But that's a question of like whether it's easy enough to understand on a first read. Obviously it is because everybody else understood it. But I just have a problem with the way things are explained in it and the way things are revealed and stuff. But I did enjoy it more on a second read. I think it's a good story. I just think it is incredibly overrated.
So
Alright.
would you wish to change anything about where it is right now on the tier list in high A?
Well, of course, I would put it lower, but
Wait,
nobody's
what-
going to
what-
want to change.
What letter grade would you put it now after you read it? Or again, yeah. Because like before you had it in like D or C, right?
He had it in D.
Yeah, I think I would put it high C, low B.
Interesting. I mean, it's an improvement. I'll take it, but it's still an S tier for me.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So shall we move on to the new stuff? The stuff we haven't talked about.
right. So in the last 2 episodes, we cleared out the first 6 books
Mhm.
from Into the Pit to Blackbird, and now we are tackling the cliffs.
Wait. Didn't you reread He Told Me Everything?
Yeah, but we haven't gotten
Well,
to that.
yes,
part
not
yet.
we haven't
there
even
yet.
gotten
Oh,
yet.
okay.
So the cliffs. The cliffs, I would put it in high A tier. Actually, it's one of the stories that like made me feel something. Like it actually had some emotional value to me. I guess if that makes sense.
Okay. So the cliffs overall as a book is like generally considered to be like one of the low points, I'd say. Would we agree with that?
Yeah.
As far as
Yeah.
Yeah,
um
that was about the point where I fell off.
You fell off. Oh,
No.
close ratio.
but the cliffs itself, like the story, is probably my favorite of the book. Even though it's like really short, was originally supposed to be the second story. I liked the emotional impact it had, like Psychic said. Again, watching it's like I don't know why, but like watching a descent into madness in these stories is one of my favorite tropes, I guess. And the dad here, I think his name was Rob, definitely did that, and it had a surprisingly wholesome ending. And I found it really nice. I wouldn't say initially I had it high A as well, but over as time went on, and just comparing it to the other stories, I think I would put it low A, high B is where I would put it personally.
I could agree with that.
On on the contrast to you two, I am an emotionless monster and did not really connect with this one all too much. I was just in it to look for Psychic Friend Fredbear parallels.
Understandable, I suppose.
it was just an okay story. I thought it was pretty good. You know, high C, mid B.
All right,
It's just
Ozone.
okay.
Okay.
What do you think about the cliffs?
I think it was okay. It's not a story that comes to mind as being like one of the better stories.
Definitive.
But
yeah.
what I do like about it is that is the chilling like lines of the Freddy, where it's like go to the cliffs, where the cliffs is like a mass suicide location.
Yeah,
or
You
I
should
think
go
it.
to the
Yeah, I
cliffs.
kind of forgot about that.
You should go to the
The-
cliffs.
that's
You
just
should go to
yeah.
the cliffs.
that's the redeeming quality or whatever for it, I think.
I've been to the cliffs.
The specific
I would
cliffs?
put it
I
low
have-
B, I think.
I have
Low
been
B?
to what I would consider a cliff around Hurricane.
Hey, I would put it
I
low B
mean,
because it doesn't end on a cliffhanger.
Oh my
Come
gosh.
on. Come on.
Okay,
it's
so
the
what I'm
cliffs.
hearing, averaging it out, I'm thinking we're just kind of agreeing on mid B,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would we say okay? So now we compare it to the mid B stories. Do we think it's better than hide and seek?
No.
No.
Do we think it's better than 1:35 a.m.?
No. In my
Yeah,
opinion, no. Dang.
I do. I would put it
I
right in
would
the middle.
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I
do
would
it on
also
top
agree.
of. Do it above 1:35 a.m.
All right, the cliffs in pretty much right smack dab in the middle of B tier.
Are you
Like
telling me the cliffs didn't end with a cliffhanger? That is crazy.
there was no cliff hanging in the cliffs. There was only.
I mean, it would have been an S, but no cliffhanger.
Oh my gosh. Next up we've got the breaking wheel. This one is kind of a controversial.
This one's
I've-
awesome. This one's
I've heard
awesome.
Some controversy over like this one's placement over the
This-
years. Not years.
This
but,
one
like,
even
over-
had some controversy in its original cover art.
True. It was.
Oh.
The original
was
cover art
deemed-
was good. It was good.
It was. I agree.
was good
but
art.
like,
But not to
scary.
just put on a cover in a store.
yeah,
Too
they had to
scary.
keep that in mind. So who wants to go first with the breaking wheel?
I will. You first. You first. I have no idea what
Well-
I'm talking about.
Because I was gonna say, I felt very similarly to Coming Home in the fact that I was basically confused the entire time reading the story. I understand it now, and I think it's a cool concept that the remote kind of works on both or whatever. My one small thing with the story is like, why is it called the breaking wheel when the breaking wheel doesn't have much to do with the story?
Just
It's-
mention it
well,
once.
The breaking,
I think it was mentioned twice, but yeah.
the breaking wheel is like a torture device where you basically get your bones crushed.
Yes,
and
I know what it is,
and
but like,
The
machine-
endoskeleton served as a
As a breaking
sword,
wheel.
like a breaking wheel.
yeah, I get that. I don't know.
I mean, what else would you call
I
the
didn't-
story? Like, it's like
The Wrath
Mangle.
of Julius.
Mangle madness.
Dude, no.
no.
In the grander
I
scheme
think-
of things, the breaking wheel might be one of like Phineas's items that's like soaked up agony, but that doesn't really
I
matter. to
personally
the story.
think cool concept, bad execution.
I'd agree.
I
with that.
agree.
So I would
My-
say mid to low B.
Mid to low B.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I would agree about good concept. The whole stuff with Julius being like the mangled mess was pretty cool. I liked the concept. Technically did not have any FNaF in it. Only like
yeah,
only like an
Endoskeletons and stuff, I
exoskeleton.
guess.
Not even like an
Yeah.
endoskeleton. It was more of an
That's true.
exoskeleton. So even then, it's a little bit of a stretch. So I liked. Yeah. Oh no.
come on.
I liked the ending. However, I didn't like a few things that like stood out to me immediately when I was reading. First of all, the biggest complaint many people have with it is that it's very long and drawn out, and nothing happens. It's just him sitting in a room with his friends being scared. And again, the whole Into Madness like trope is kind of there, but it's more just like him wondering if it happened. My second issue is that the remote, like they explain multiple times that the remote would have no way of reaching the school.
Yeah.
But it did.
Well, that's the thing. I have a theory that Julius is actually fine, and the thing that attacks, what's his name, Reese or something?
Reed.
Reed. The thing that attacks Reed is a manifestation of his guilt.
I like that theory a lot.
So it's kind of like Blackbird, where I think it's like it was born of his own mind, and Julius
it's because
is just
he
out
compared
there.
it to a breaking wheel, which was like a real
Right.
torture device people
Like
used.
it is like Julius when he attacks Reed is exactly how Reed imagined him, and I think that's like a little on the nose, you know. Um, that's not one of the flaws I'd say though. The biggest flaw that like I noticed was the stupid gimmick with the dollhouse. It was like
You didn't
it was
like
like
that?
I didn't like it because it was so obvious that it was a gimmick.
That was an
Like
awesome
cheesy.
gimmick.
I agree. It was like cheesy. So like it sets up that this character, one of the characters, like, oh, they build a model house because they really like building model things, and oh look, the little robot that gets controlled by the remote, is at this position in the house. Oh boy, I wonder where the Julius thing is gonna be. It like I don't know. I
get
caught
that.
on I caught onto it really quickly, and I thought it was kind of a weirdly shoehorned in way to like build up the horror. Uh, I saw right through it, and it just kind of fell flat for me.
I understand that, but I think for the sake of the story to happen, it kind of needs to be that way.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing for the story, though. That's like
I mean, yeah, but
if a story has to rely on convenient model house with convenient robot placement, then maybe there's some problems here. But I do like the concept. The ending's great. Um, I'd say low B, high C, personally.
Yeah, low B, high C.
Is it just me, or did I not find the dollhouse cheesy? I found that hilariously awesome, and that was that was.
I
funny.
thought it
I
was
mean,
kinda
fair
cool.
enough,
I thought it was
yeah.
kind of cool, but like, yeah, I can see both sides, like it being cool or it being a gimmick.
He.
I mean, if you're saying, sorry to cut you off, if you're
No, no, you're
saying
fine.
it is a manifestation of his like guilt, I guess, then you could apply the same thing for the dollhouse.
I mean, fair. Like how the robot moves where
Yeah, like Reed is
Julius
like
does.
conscious that it might be the same. Anyway,
It might
Hey,
even sorry, it might even act as like some kind of tether for the Julius thing, because if the Julius creature is from Reed's mind and has manifested, then him seeing where the robot is in the dollhouse might actually like quote unquote teleport Julius to where the robot
I'm
is.
sorry, I hate to be that guy, but we have to keep moving. We have to.
That's a good point.
Where do we
Well,
wanna put
underscore
it?
was gonna say
I thought it was pretty good. Mid to high B. It was a pretty fun one.
All right, so high.
Okay,
I think
so
I think average is like low B, high C ish.
yeah, I'd say low B.
I think it low B considering underscore put
Is
it
it
high
better
B.
than the new kid?
I'd say New Kid has
Yeah.
the spring lock scene though.
Man, put it like maybe it's just like far back B.
All right, we'll put it back at B. We can.
How
change it
is
later.
sorry? How is Dance with Me there?
Wait, yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Do we want to move Dance with Me? Because right now it's above the New Kid and the Breaking Wheel. And
How did that happen? Yeah, I want to move it up.
I think it was wait up.
Dance with
Yeah.
Me's great.
I thought we.
love Dance with
Oh, in that case, that's why it's in B. Because I didn't rate it very highly.
Oh,
and
Yeah,
I
neither
forget
did
if-
I.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so
that's
that
why
is where we.
it was the half and half one.
Right. Okay.
All right,
God damn
he told me everything.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
look where we are.
Let me-
That's
let me-
cool.
S.
Dude,
Let me-
S tier all the way.
S tier all the way.
Are you okay? Are you guys actually serious, or are you being
No.
ironic?
It's just funny.
I'd honestly put it in. I'd put it in low A, high B.
I'm pulling up my notes.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to hear
Uh,
your 5-page document on why you hate this story with a burning passion.
Rant.
Now,
let's hear
hear me out. Yeah, hear me out. So I did my homework. I listened to the story again, and I started taking notes. And obviously, I went in expecting like I'm just gonna hate the story again. So I wrote down like a bunch of the main character's flaws, but like I realized
Okay.
at a certain point that that's not really a hit against the story. Like he's supposed to be unlikable, so I kind of like I'm abandoning that part, which is like a big section of the notes. So this Chris guy, he wants to get in with the in crowd. He wants to ditch his like old life because he thinks it's like too shabby. But he gets in with the science club, and the science club is where my problems with the story start coming in a bit more. I don't even care about Fazgo anymore as a concept. I think it's weird that it's the only FNaF related thing in the story. But so first of all, Freddy Fazbear Mad Scientist Kit Fazgo. What is it? Why is it being sold? What does it mean?
I know.
Dr. Little is not sued or even threatened with consequences for issuing mandatory bodily harm to his students.
Nobody knows
that-
it's happening.
Yeah, but like, if the kids are being told, like, someone's gonna have cold feet and go and tell someone. That's what I'm thinking.
They're not themselves.
Well, no, the kids. So the kids in the class already from the previous year aren't Fazgo clones because this is the first year that Dr. Little is doing the Fazgo experiment, because San is a sophomore and he's been in the science club, but he's not Fazgo because they don't show the characteristics of Fazgo, and they wonder what this year's experiment is going to be. So this has to be the first year that Fazgo has been executed, meaning all those perfectly sane kids in that science club, some of them who don't go to the lock-in are going to go tell someone that the lock-in is involving mandatory bodily harm. So that is a big plot hole for me, is a hit against the story. So we know it's the first one with Fazgo. However, the previous lock-in, Dr. Little mentions that a student lost fingers. So why does he still have a freaking job? But anyways, he says that the Freddy Fazbear Mad Scientist Kit is not a toy and that you have to treat it like as such. So why are they so easily accessible and branded as toys if they're not toys? In Kids That Play, Friendly Face, and Sea Bonnies, it was just like cereal and the genetics department of Fazbear Entertainment, which I would assume was more under wraps, not being sold to the general public unless it's like the Friendly Face, but that's usually a finished product, unlike the Mad Scientist Kit. So I think it's a little ridiculous there. But here's the thing. I no longer think this story is F tier.
Hey!
That's interesting. Now it's like
It's D tier.
So this is my closing paragraph in the notes is, ultimately the concept is pointless and used for shameless gross out body horror and existential dread. It's left on a cliffhanger that isn't satisfying because we simply don't know what the Fazgo clones or Dr. Little intend to do. So I can't say it's a good story, but Chris's breakdown at the end of the story and his regrets keep it from being totally irredeemable. We get the build-up of this terrible protagonist, and watching him having to watch as his life slips away into the hands of like a stranger who will replace him is admittedly a pretty scary concept and is executed pretty well. I just wish the story explained more things and didn't end so abruptly without any indication that anything super sinister is going on. Like, obviously it's sinister that he's replacing kids with clones, but those clones aren't like evil or anything, so we know. Like, there's nothing to imply that there's some big evil scheme going on. Which, yeah. Anyways, I don't hate this story anymore. Character development, I guess. I'd put it D or maybe low C tier.
Fair
who
enough.
wants to add on to that?
Yeah, who's gonna...
I think you had some good points.
Yeah. All right, so where would we place it?
Yeah. Well, does anyone else have their thoughts on it?
Dude,
I guess.
I'll say something. I'm gonna say, frick you. I love existential dread. You're looking way too deep into this story and nitpicking the details. Meanwhile, I have totally cracked this story. Dr. Little's with Evergreen. It's such a masterpiece. High C.
That's the most.
Oh my god, that is the funniest thing I've heard.
So
It's like
we'll say
singing
Inky.
its praises like this is such a masterpiece. It is high C material. I'll give it to you. I'll give that. If we want to put it high C, just for that was funny. I agree. I mean, the connections to Room for One More are admittedly help it out a little bit, but
True.
yeah.
I'd probably not like it as much if it didn't have some like crazy evergreen lore conspiracy in it.
Yeah.
What
Psychic
what
and
I'd
Ozone.
say,
What do you
Inky,
think?
what I'd say, Inky, is you haven't read Under Construction yet, so
That is. Oh my gosh. Does it connect to Under Construction?
Under
I don't know.
construction.
Oh, right. Under Construction is like the thing that you think is going to replace He Told Me Everything in my head.
Oh, I see
right?
why. No, under
possibly.
construction is
Possibly.
Inky's like fever dream nightmare.
Yeah.
So I've heard, and I'm
I
excited.
think it's
to read it.
everyone's. Anyway,
Um,
yeah, I agree with all your points. I think it's the worst story in the world, but I'll put it high C as well.
oh my gosh. If everyone hates it so much, why haven't we put it so much lower in the past?
Because you
But the
agreed
meme.
with me.
The meme,
Ratio.
yeah, probably. the
Psychic
meme.
thoughts.
You're the final. You're the final word.
I liked it.
You liked it.
I
I mean, fair enough.
I liked it. High C.
Are we putting it high C then?
oh my gosh. We've gone from hating He Told Me Everything being a meme to putting it in high C being a meme.
It's a good story for the meme. That's the only thing it has
You
going
know,
at this point.
Yeah, I'll agree.
It made me a
it's
good ASMR video.
It's a meme story. It's
on.
become a meme story, and I guess that gives it some merit, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to Gumdrop Angel?
Yes. Gumdrop Angel. I used to think this was the best
Ooh.
story in the series, or like no, not story.
Best
book.
book.
Used to think it was the best book in the series. I don't think I would say that anymore.
Same.
But
Oh, okay.
At the time, it was the best. I'd say.
yeah, I'd say well, overall, I guess. I don't know. Let's
think
start with
it's best
Gumdrop
still.
Angel. What do
I
we
liked
think
it.
about Gumdrop Angel as a story?
I'd put it mid A.
Mid
You
A.
gotta talk about it.
I know.
Well, yeah.
I thought it was
briefly.
interesting. I thought it was. I like the kind of like loop aspect of like kids
Yeah.
eat the nose, become candy, which is kind of weird, but. I thought the point like with like the boyfriend and like how like he knew what was happening was really interesting. Like the employees at Freddy know that.
The manager.
I was going to touch on that. It's the point where she's going in the box and he's like literally crying as he's doing what he's doing because he has to.
I've gotta do this
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So I love that aspect of it. Yeah.
Oh, you give your ranking, then I'll say something.
Psychic. Oh,
Well,
you said mid A, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the same actually.
Mid A. I think this is one of my favorite stories that involves like I love the stories that are this is a story where the crux of what's happening is spurred on by a corrupt Fazbear Entertainment product. Not necessarily one with like Andrew's agony in it, but one that is meant to mess with whoever buys it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of.
That is sort of a recurring concept in some stories, yeah.
You know, all ties back to the weird evergreen, like we're messing with the general public kind of stuff with our products. But
Infinite
this is
food.
one. This is one of my favorite ones that does that, and I think that's why I'd love to give it mid-low A.
So sorry if I repeat points. I was interrupted for a second. But yeah, I heard you guys talking about the guy who worked at Freddy's and his like immense like remorse thing, and how he's being essentially forced to do this by the company. That was amazing. I love. So when I first saw this, you know, on the cover, I was super hesitant, especially coming off like Fazgoo, like as the most recent story. But when most of like the story happened at Freddy's, and it was a full display of the messed up stuff Fazbear Entertainment does, it was such a good story. I think it's the best story of the outlandish concept kind of thing. Actually, no. There is one story later that has an outlandish concept that I think I like more. But as far as like that genre, like Underscore said, the one where it's like Fazbear Entertainment messing with people, I think this is a really solid one. I would also put it mid A. So, sorry. Does anyone else have any thoughts,
I think
or
all
was
said
I the last one?
about mid-A.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I
Okay.
guess it's going right in the middle of A. But what are we putting it above or below? I think it's below the Man in Room 1280 personally.
I
But
agree.
above Count the
I
Ways.
agree.
Yeah,
Above Count the Ways, yeah.
about it, right in the middle there.
Psychic, what do you think?
He's, yep, sweet.
There
You
we
said
go.
in front of Count the Ways?
Yeah, in front
Yeah.
of Count the Ways.
There we go.
Cool.
Sweet. Love it. Okay.
Sergio's Lucky Day.
Oh, this one's gonna be a mixed bag.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel the same. I really liked it when I first read it, and thinking back, I don't dislike it. I just don't know what I saw so amazingly in it.
So it's
All I'll say is, like, when you think of this story, what do you think of the ending?
yeah.
Like, the
Yes
rest
and
is forgettable.
This
mean, I
this
have a
is
pretty-
this is an in the flesh case where the ending is overpowering.
Yeah,
Right.
overpowering in a way.
I would agree, but rather than being like in the flesh, the ending is not, what
It's
what
not
it
the
is.
worst.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think-
it's
It's a
kind of
little
cool
weird.
throughout the story, and then it like the ending does it.
All right. There's got to be like someone in the audience has got to give a counter every time I say this, but we see the Into Madness trope here on full display as Sergio like basically loses his mind and takes every order from the Lucky Boy, taking himself apart and reattaching himself.
I put it
Um,
high B.
High B, you say?
Yeah.
Um,
It's okay. Not
Same.
bad. It's alright. That's all I can say. It's alright.
I agree with that.
You keep talking while I make my judgment.
I think that
Someone keep talking about it.
it'd be high B, low A because I just think like it's alright. It's kind of interesting, but it's like nothing that's like super.
I'd say yeah, high B, low A as
It's
well.
definitely well done.
It's
It's a nice story. It's a pretty decent,
It's definitely
it's
not
kind
a
of
nice
it's
story.
kind of repetitive though. I feel like
I'm gonna
Maybe.
have to say, I'm gonna have to be the devil's advocate on this one. It's gonna be like above in the flesh, but in the seas.
Oh, interesting.
I don't like it that much.
I think it's a perfectly passable Fazbear Frights story, if not a little above average.
It is. It's just. I think it's just a weird one. Then it's just kind of a low one on the tier of.
so the average be
like,
somewhere in
That
B.
sounds
story.
good.
Average
I'll
somewhere.
be- I'll be right back, guys. One sec.
Right.
I'd say above fetch.
Above fetch.
Above fetch.
Yeah.
That's my
Above
personal
fetch. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. What do you want? Do you want it to go below, or what do you want?
I was devil's advocate. I said it was pretty low to mid, so I think it's absurd to put it that high. But
Okay. How low do you want it? If we're saying B, like 100%, where?
We did say fetch was pretty mid though. I just think it's absurd to put it above fetch. Anywhere below that is fine.
Sergio's
like move
Lucky
it like
Day.
move it behind fetch.
Yeah, at least move Sergio's Lucky Day behind Fetch. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not better than fetch. Even though fetch is kind of weird. That's fine. That
Okay,
that
whatever.
works.
All right.
I'm fine with that
What we
placement.
found.
God,
Also-
I hate this tier.
I'd like to say this right now. I think that we should have no more than 8 per row.
Oh,
So I
that's
think
a fun
I think
challenge.
that means the breaking wheel should maybe be moved down to the top of C.
I like that concept.
We should have a
that's,
cap.
that's good.
That way it prevents any one row from being too overcrowded.
Yeah, because most of what we're doing is like A to B because you can
Okay.
see it there.
I mean, yeah, but I would agree most of the stories are A to B. But
Yeah.
We can
I like-
reshape
it adds
later anyways.
It adds a little element of challenge. I like that.
What we
Um,
found, I'd say it's S tier.
What we found.
Honestly,
S tier for what we found. Let's hear it.
I think it's a great story. I love how it's like FNaF 3. It's really FNAF-y. It feels like a Fazbear. It's literally a Fazbear Frights.
It is the only Fazbear Fright story. Yes.
That's a good point.
I think it's well done.
It's not canon.
Not
It cannot
Oh,
be
yeah,
canon to the
absolutely not
timeline.
canon.
Gotta note that.
Let's see.
It's one of the only stories like that.
What we found is such a weird case for me because initially I put it S tier, but then I thought about it more and I felt like it was just like what everybody was doing, putting it in S tier. And I thought about like it has on paper, it has all of the elements of a good S tier story, but I don't know. Something just didn't click for me with this
I'm going
one.
to agree with that.
Like it had all the pieces. Springtrap was there. That was cool. There was a cool backstory with the Hudson guy. Ending was all right. He ends up like hallucinating himself to death.
In retrospect, good ending of like getting stuffed in the oven. Like that is actually
Yeah.
kind of interesting. That it was a fire-related death. If you think about that,
That's a good point.
that is a FNaF 3 element, huh?
Yeah. I like that he had this mysterious backstory that eventually gets elaborated on, and why everybody like dissociates from him. But yeah, something about it just feels off for me. I won't try to put it below A because I think it's a good story. I can't put it in S personally.
Me too.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't really know what else I can really say, but I do think it has all the elements, like you say. I just think it clicked for me.
All right.
I don't know.
It might depend on the person, really.
I did like the backstory a lot and how it slowly got revealed.
Yeah, he
and
did
stuff.
have some good backstory.
And it had a great ending. I think there was a lot going on, a lot of different things, but I think that was kind of the point as well. He was kind of being overwhelmed by his hallucinations and stuff, and his past, and yeah. I think it's overall a really good story. I would put it high A, not quite S.
I'm gonna say B, but I'm not mad where it gets put. You know what I mean? Like I can understand it getting put almost anywhere, so I'm just gonna say B.
I'll say A, mid A.
So we have S, B, and 2A, so I think the average is A. So we gotta think, is it better than Gumdrop Angel?
Yeah.
I would say no personally, but
personally no as well. Is that 2 yeses and 2 no's?
Well, the thing is, it's down to like opinion.
Yeah.
I'd say it's the better story. It's just not what I prefer. So if we want to put it above Gumdrop Angel as sort of like a more objective thing, like this is objectively kind of a better story because it's FNaF.
It's either above or below Gumdrop Angel.
Yeah.
I know I said I'd not be mad where you put it. I'll be slightly mad if you put it above Gumdrop Angel.
Fine, we'll put it behind it.
Okay.
All right, okay.
And we'll move these down a bit.
Oh yeah. Oh, the new kid is now C tier.
I'm fine with that. And out of stock.
Actually, I'm fine with that. Why was it never C tier?
If Dance With Me goes to C tier, I'll actually be mad.
This is the worst tier list I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Dance With Me is so good. You guys are crazy.
This is
You guys have the worst opinion.
No.
You guys wanted to do 8.
It's all bubbly.
I think we need 2 people to reread Dance With Me.
It's all.
Yeah, I
bubbly.
agree. You two need to
All of the. I like how we went into this like this is gonna be cool. We have a compromised tier list, and now it's just like it's clicking. Like,
are we
Wait,
sure?
I hate all
Are
three
we
of you.
sure? Are we sure we want to do the 8 only per tier?
I'm fine with that. I think it adds.
I'm
bit
fine
more
with that.
spice to
All
it.
right,
It adds-
We'll actually get some in F.
Okay,
We'll actually get some in F.
it's going to In the Flesh is going to make its way down to F slowly. Just watch.
All
I
right.
would put in the flesh in F.
Mathematically, it's going to I think it's going to even out eventually. If we can only have 8, there's going to be a cap. Things are slowly going to just get pushed downward.
I think once we get all the stories on there, I think we're probably going to do a lot of rearranging anyway.
We could rearrange some.
All right.
But anyways, the Puppet Carver.
Yeah, that's it for book 8.
It's all right. It's a C tier.
Yeah.
Gumdrop Angel was a good book in retrospect. It's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. The Puppet Carver itself,
It's a C tier.
back in the day, I'd say like this was the better He Told Me Everything, especially as far as introducing Fazbear. I still agree with that. I'd say it did Fazbear better than He Told Me Everything did.
I disagree.
Well, the thing is, because it's like it's part of.
I disagree
a machine.
actually.
It's like part of a machine, and it's also like messed up organs and stuff. It's not like just Freddy Fazbear's
Okay.
the mad scientist kid.
Okay, it's not Fazgoo, because this is not some Fazent brand product.
Okay, fair, but it's like the similar.
It's
It's the
similar.
same. It's the same thing, just with a different name. You could say. I guess.
I think that's a
Yes.
respectable point, actually.
But I think it does the concept of this person gets swapped out for a Fazgoo clone. I think it does it a lot better. My biggest problem with the story is that there's so much setup, and then
Not enough payoff.
the story just ends, and I feel like it was half of a story.
It's not. Yeah, it doesn't have enough of a big reveal
That's
or
why I
payoff
said-
or whatever.
I'd say C
Build
tier.
up, build up, build up, build up. Jack gets replaced.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't
then-
it go up to him and then he feels all the pain and then it just dies.
it like becomes. I think it like absorbs him. Is
It,
what,
it joins him or
weird.
absorbs him, one of the two.
and he
It is a
becomes
bit
like a good
annoying.
person or something, and then he like does good things, and the story ends. It's like sure, happy ending, but I feel like there was not a lot that happened as far as conflict. If everything
Not to mention it was clickbait.
true,
It was
the clickbait is a
clickbait.
huge thing that
The
like
puppets.
the puppets are irrelevant, and even the puppets in the story do not look like the ones on the cover. So
And the cover ones look like the MCI kids. Like,
Yeah.
that could have been so cool and full of
Yeah.
potential.
I still think it's cool that do you guys remember the chase cover for this book? At
is it-
at a
Oh, yeah.
high
at a
contrast?
specific
The high
bookstore.
contrast thing.
Yeah, I got 2 copies, which
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't even realize I'd be in a different state at the time where they have that specific bookstore that I do not have in Utah. So I was super lucky to have snagged 2 copies of that book
That's cool.
with the cover.
All right, so where are we putting Puppet Carver?
Overall, I'd say missed opportunity, wasted potential.
Yeah.
Half of a story.
Yeah, same.
So C tier, maybe D for me.
Yeah.
C tier,
Well,
maybe
actually,
D.
no, C. I'm gonna say C because I do think it's better than He Told Me Everything.
All
I'm
right.
saying C.
Yeah. It's,
Better than He Told Me Everything.
Is it
I
better
think
than the
it's-
Breaking
I'm
Bad?
gonna say D to low C. I don't even think it's better than He Told Me Everything.
Wait, yeah, wait. You
Why
might
is
be
Step
right. Let me
Closer that
think
low?
about
Why is Step Closer that low?
because it was kind of mid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can like go back and like listen to the episodes if we need
Oh, that's
refresher on the opinions.
Okay.
I think Puppet Carver is below He Told Me Everything.
You know,
I think it's.
and
I
now that
agree
I'm-
with Ozone.
Now that I'm thinking about it more, at least He Told Me Everything was a finished story.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Behind.
So
right there.
I wouldn't say it's better than Step Closer, actually.
Is it better
I wouldn't
than
say-
Character
Yeah,
development.
Yeah, I don't think it's better than I think it's personally, it's not even the only story it's better than is In the Flesh.
All right. So are we
In
putting it?
life,
Are we putting it above in
think
D?
Fetch
Or,
is-
Let's put it in D.
better.
Let's put it in D.
Just
Let's be interesting.
yeah.
D.
Like Ozone,
It's
that'd be interesting.
it's just mid, man.
jump
I'm
for
also-
tickets.
I'm just now seeing that He Told Me Everything is higher than Step Closer and Lonely Freddy, and that bothers me a little bit. But we said high C because it was funny, and
All right.
You know what? In retrospect, I'm gonna say, I don't know if this is a hot take, that either the worst book total is either The Puppet Carver or Friendly Face.
interest.
I'm gonna hard
Dang.
disagree
No,
there.
You're gonna hard
way.
disagree. I
I
don't know
can't
why
disagree.
yet.
I'll
Okay.
hard disagree. Well,
Let's
not
talk
hard
a-
disagree. I'll
listen.
just disagree.
Jump for tickets.
Jump for tickets. I love Jump for
S tier
tickets.
story for me. S tier story for
I-
me.
Wow.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I do not listen.
This is
I
gonna be hard.
enjoyed this story
is
so
gonna be
much.
tricky.
It was in
Okay,
Freddy's
how many times have you said S?
like 4.
Look, I was saying S a lot, like
Yeah.
on the first 3 books, but now you're saying S on some of these ones.
Yeah,
I think,
I think Psychic and I just have a trend of liking the later books a bit more, and you guys have a trend of liking the earlier books a bit
Oh,
more.
I like the later books.
Oh,
a lot
okay,
more.
well, yeah.
just
I like
don't
the
think
earlier
this
books
is
and
great.
sucker for the nostalgia.
Makes sense. I mean, like, yeah, they
it
were
was
pretty good.
a story
So
that
Psychic,
took place
what
in
was so good
Freddy's.
about Jump
I
In?
thought it was interesting. Coils Oils. We get
Come on.
Lemon Lime
That
Strike.
can't be the only reason.
It's the puppet.
I mean, it's
Oh yeah,
not-
the puppet was there.
Except
Oh my
it wasn't.
gosh.
Except it wasn't.
Matt Pat would be screaming right
No
now.
way was the puppet in this story.
We
I
got
have a-
official
I-
coils. We have an
Yeah.
official coils drawing, and it's not the puppet.
I'm also
Can
sad.
we have
it's
a
not-
coils tier?
Coils tier? No,
Dude.
we're not making a coils tier. Oh my gosh.
Coils
Just-
already had tiers.
True, but
You are a monster.
okay. So
Jumping for
Jump for
tickets.
tickets. I really like this story. It's weird. I can't exactly place why. It's just like kind of like a bright spot. Like I just imagine it feels nostalgic. I think that's the biggest thing. It feels like an earlier story when it's a later story.
It's because you guys memed it to death.
Not exactly. I mean that I will say that it influences it a little bit, but even the story itself, it just feels bright to me. Like most of it happens during the day at Freddy's, which is cool. The concept is pretty good. He's trying to tamper with this machine. This animatronic is trying to stop him, and eventually
Is
it
that a good
backfires.
concept?
Yeah, it backfires and he gets crushed under it. I'd say.
I'm pretty sure the premise was that it tries to save him. It's like, hey, well, it can't talk to him, of course, but if you
Right.
do this, you are going to die. Maybe.
I also like that Coils is kind of left mysterious. Like, is he trying to save him? Probably.
Is he now possessed?
Is he? Yeah, is
Probably
he possessed? Is he now possessed at the end of the story? Was he possessed at the start of the story? Because
Does this one sort of have the same I'm tampering with the machine as No, it's not Step Closer. Which one was it?
Hide and Seek?
No, not Hide and Seek. What am I thinking of? Lonely Freddy. Doesn't the
Lonely
kid
Freddy.
tamper with the machine?
No.
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 Step Closer. He does tamper with the. Am I
No.
okay?
Are you?
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Dude, just give me a second.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Well,
okay.
while he's doing that, while he's having his.
What's the one with the Yarg Foxy?
Yarg Foxy. That was
That
was Lonely Freddy.
That was Lonely Freddy.
Yeah, doesn't he try to
Oh,
mess with the
Yarg
machine, but she
No.
still
Oh,
ends up
he
getting
does.
the
He
Foxy
does. He
anyways?
tries to
yeah.
mess with the Yarg Foxy, and then he destroys it.
Yeah.
He tries to take out the ticket. Yeah.
No, frickin' the kid from Hide and Seek destroys the machine.
Yeah.
There's dude, we're getting all of the ones where they tamper with the machine mixed up.
We are. It's really crazy how many like tropes in the Fazbear Frights there are.
I'm just gonna mess with this machine and win. That's a pretty consistent trope.
It is, and I think I think Jump for Tickets does it the best because
I
it's
disagree.
a
disagree.
terrifying concept. It's a terrifying. Okay, imagine like just claustrophobic, just like
It
getting
does
crushed.
sound pretty terrifying to die that way. Yes.
yeah, exactly. It's a great ending.
It is.
I like the story a lot. I'd say high A.
It has a lot going for it, but it didn't click with me.
Okay, fair enough.
Neither.
Interesting.
Low B.
I
low B.
really hate Colton. Just want to put it out there. I want to get the newest video game console.
He's just
I'm gonna
a
mess
kid.
with a place in an arcade place.
I want to hear where you put it, Ozone. You might like affect where I put it.
I mean, he is a generally unlikable protagonist, but like, so are other characters.
A lot of these have to be because like if they're
know,
likable
but-
and do something stupid, that doesn't make sense because you know what I mean. They have to
Yeah.
be stupid so they
and they
die.
die in a
I
terrible way.
understand
So, like,
that, but it made me really just hate the story. I
so
don't know.
kind of like how I used to be with He Told Me Everything, where I just hated the protagonist so much that nothing mattered.
Yeah, but I'm
Terrible.
right and you're wrong.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't know. I with all this said, I do think the ending was good and it's a cool concept where he's like under the ticket pulverizer and can't get out or whatever. You know what? I'll put it B.
B.
I said low B, so that's fine.
What would be? I think I said high A, so it's gonna. Psychic, where you do you still say S? I don't even think I'd say S for it.
I'd say
Actually,
mid A.
Maybe in my own personal tier list, I might move it high A or low S. But I don't know. I really like this one. Are we thinking that it settles for mid to high B? Is that where we're seeing this go?
Yeah.
Is it better than Out of Stock?
I would say so, but I know
I would say so.
disagree.
I am biased, so don't you dare.
I would say it is though, and that's 3-1.
That is 3-1, you monsters. So
And does
Now-
Dance With Me get moved down?
you
Oh.
can't do this to me.
It's the rule of 8. The rule of 8.
This
Actually,
was your
let's swap Dance With Me with Out of Stock.
Let's stop Dance. let's swap Dance With Me with 1:35 a.m. How about that?
Yes,
I agree with
actually.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. So
for sure.
Dance With Me stays at the bottom of B. And
We will do
1:35 a.m.
whatever we
top of
can
C.
to save Dance With Me.
You will
Ozone.
fight for Dance With Me. Oh
Wait,
my god.
yeah.
Oh boy.
I
It's
respect
gonna
it.
keep falling down to C, and we're gonna keep putting it back up.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Pizza Kit.
It's Pizza Kid is a fun one.
Absolute S.
S?
Why?
No.
What? Yeah, what are you talking about?
Like, calm down
Well,
there. But
first of all, I do want to say that the Puppet Carver had so many spelling mistakes.
Oh, that's your
I
critique?
actually do think I recall some of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should have been looked
Yeah.
over a few more times before getting published.
I would definitely put this high A though, and by high A I mean literally high A,
Like the
Like,
highest A.
because
for one more?
the highest A, the
Wow.
highest A's of
Why
A's.
Better
Why
than
do you
Room for
like
One More? You're like your favorite story? Are you
Uh,
sure? Are you sure about that?
Ha.
Room for One More isn't my favorite.
Well, it used to be at least. I'm sure. right?
Let's hear about why is this story so good.
Yeah, well,
I'll put it
let's
below
debate.
room for one more. But I think it's just incredible. It's a classic psychological horror story, except not classic because it's like the
New.
worst thing you can
Newer.
ever imagine. I love the horrific elements. I love how Peyton just goes completely insane over the guilt of Marley.
I will say this is one of the most horrific and
Oh,
probably
absolutely.
disgusting stories that exists.
This is probably
Even the fact that it's a nightmare, it's still horrific.
the goriest
Yes.
story by far, I'd say.
Mhm.
That
It's just
lends,
an icky story.
oh
Ugh.
yeah,
Now,
I'd say it
the-
lends some to it. I wouldn't say it's like bad for that.
Yeah.
The reason I would put it in A rather than S is because I don't like the twist that Marley, that it was just all a prank.
That she's
Ah.
alive.
That's-
You
that's
wish
That's
she
never
died.
explained. What?
That is fair, true.
I just said you wish she died.
Actually, sort of. I kind of.
I agree. No, I agree. I'm willing to back him up here. I think.
If anything, I actually wish that the nightmare was real, rather than
Then her falling.
No.
off.
That she actually
yeah.
died in that like final nightmare. That creepy. Ugh.
That would be a very big impression. I'd say,
I just think-
Honey, you've been in the
Marley
bathroom for a while.
surviving
Are
is-
you okay?
oh my gosh.
Marley surviving is like unexplained, and it's just a.
She just
really
wanted
bad
to
twist.
get away for a bit.
So,
She
It's
did
not really
say that.
required.
Yeah,
Ozone,
it is.
if I can sum up your. If I
Wait,
can
you
sum
know,
up
wait.
your-
Actually, wait. There is a theory that it's not the real Marley.
Oh?
I wouldn't buy
Because
that.
because at the beginning it's talking about how she doesn't have a boyfriend, and in the end she's talking about how she does have a boyfriend. There is that theory.
Well, she's
I
been gone
disagree.
for a few days.
Exactly. Why would she attempt to get a boyfriend? Everyone thinks she's
She got a
dead.
boyfriend. I don't know what to tell you.
Now, see, I would have loved that twist if it was ever explained, even in the
Right.
situation thing. That would have been cool.
Theories only go so far to help the actual source material if they don't outwardly suggest that theory.
So
Kind of like
I mean,
the theory that in the cliffs, he's just insane and the kid did get kidnapped and he just thinks the bear
Yeah.
is the kid.
yeah, it's
like,
just not like
What?
it's not rooted. Yeah, I've never
Threw
heard that
his
before.
kid off the cliff.
Oh yeah.
no. After throwing the bear off the cliff, he starts hallucinating and thinks that the bear at the bottom of the cliff is his kid.
That's so dumb.
Yeah,
I would disagree with the theory, but it's an interesting concept. Same thing here with the fake Marley.
they're just not rooted in enough like actual idea.
Yeah,
But
it's just like
I
an
think-
alternate interpretation.
What I think I'm hearing from you guys is that this story would be good if this happened. So what does that make this story? You're pitching
I
a bunch of ideas as to how this could be better, but does that mean that the base is good or what?
So
No, the
here's
base
how I
is
would
pizza
sum.
sauce.
Here's oh my gosh, here's how I would sum up Ozone's argument, and I think I would agree with this overall. The story builds up, sets up a lot of cool, good things, and then at the end they go back on it. Like they keep
Yeah,
Marley
they do an
alive.
Uno reverse.
Rather than having the nightmare be real, they have Peyton fall off a roof and die. Much less dramatic death, and Marley's still alive. So they
Well-
have a lot of good concepts, and there's a lot of good moments in the story. But overall, by the end of it, they kind of went back on a lot of what they set up.
I'm fine with
My
that.
only
I'm fine with
problem is
that.
Marley.
Okay.
Okay
So
with
where,
Peyton dying at the
I
end.
think we got to throw out
Marley
the
dying.
tiers now. Like
where
what-
would we put it?
So Ozone, you said S.
No, high A.
High A. I'd say low A.
I'd say mid A.
Maybe even high B. Thinking about it, low A, high B for me.
I think above count the waves, but below what we found.
I was gonna say low B.
Low B, interesting. So I
This
think
is getting
that's
so hard.
that might bump it down to
This
high
is
B.
getting very difficult because
It
you're
is getting
trying
really
to
difficult.
not have something that you sort of like outweigh something you like more that is in a place you don't like it.
You
Right,
don't want
that's
it to be
why-
a dance with me.
That's
Like,
why
I
this is-
I don't like this more than Dance with Me, which makes me want to put it in C, but that might be biased because Dance with Me is just chilling it back at B. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what makes the compromise tier list so interesting. Is that we
I'd
have
say
to
low
like
B.
we have to wrestle with these things. Low B.
Either
you
way,
said?
it's going to end up like higher than that, of course.
I'll adjust to mid B.
So
Does that mean like
Mid.
is it-
Nah,
is
high
it-
B,
is
high
it-
B.
Is it better than Fetch?
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say so.
Maybe.
What?
I'd say yeah.
maybe?
Is it
I
better than
would-
Is it better than
on.
Blackbird?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
Yeah. So here.
Oh, that's
Mm,
ridiculous.
uh-oh,
Nah,
uh-oh,
nah, nah,
uh-oh.
nah.
we're fighting now. So
Move the cliffs.
At least don't
down.
put it. At least don't put it in B, so that Dance with Me stays there.
oh my
No,
gosh.
let's keep Dance with Me up there. You got to move the cliffs down to C.
The cliff
would
is
rather-
not. This,
I would-
no.
I would rather-
Ozone,
I would rather-
I think we have to I think it has to happen.
I think I would rather move hide and seek down the sea, but rather
Nah,
than
Cliffs is going. Cliffs is
Dude, I think Dance with Me has to be. Wait, I don't think we have. I don't think we have the authority to do that.
Is the
Like,
cliffs better than Dance
we
with
moved.
Me?
Look, we
I would
moved
say so.
130.
I would also say so.
Did-
Ozone
did
underscore.
move- Wait, say that again. What was the question?
Is the cliffs better than Dance with Me?
No.
Personally, no.
this is
Ozone,
All right.
I don't think we have the authority. I think Dance with Me has to get moved down to
Yeah.
C.
Okay,
It
go
had
on.
to happen eventually.
I think Dance with Me being the most like contentious story between us is really funny considering it's like an exact 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Me and Ozone are pitching.
Yeah.
You have to reread Dance with Me. You just
We're
have to.
all like fighting about it.
You have to reread it. It's so good. It's a
I think
masterpiece.
okay. I think top of C is where
Still-
I'd put it personally.
Yeah.
Like overall.
It's not like a
Originally
bad
I
thing.
said
All right. Before we move on to the last 3 stories, any other things we want to change currently?
I think we're fine.
so D tier is In the Flesh and Puppet Carver. C tier is Lonely Freddy Step Closer. He told me everything. To
Please don't
Breaking
list off them all,
New Kid.
okay?
I mean, I'm just for the audio listeners. I'm just trying to give them
That's
a
true.
recap.
Yeah, how are audio
I'm
listeners
sure they've
gonna
got this
be doing
all in their brain.
Wait, how are
Well,
audio
we-
listeners? What?
With how we move things around enough, like as much, I don't know. New Kid 135 Dance with Me is the top of C. B we have like Cliffs Hide and Seek, Sergio's Lucky Day Fetch, Pizza Kit, Blackbird, Out of Stock Jump for Tickets. A tier Into the Pit, Count the Ways, What We Found, Gumdrop Angel, Man in Room 1280, To Be Beautiful, Coming Home, Room for One More. And the only S tiers right now are Bunny Call and The Real Jake.
I do have something to call out. Why did we put the real Jake above Bunny Call?
I don't.
That's a
know.
good point. I would put it below.
No.
I would too.
Oh, you
Wait.
got.
No, like Ozone.
I'm
If you think about it, if you think about it, it is in S tier. We all agree it's a great story, and the emotional concepts and
I
everything
don't
are
care.
great.
I'm so sorry for saying that. But it's a very good
It's
How
still a
did
very
Bunny
good
Call
story.
become the best story? In your opinion?
I
This is
don't know.
stupid.
It just
Well, we
did.
had that. We had that epiphany last time that it just had all the great elements of a FNaF story and had
It's
new
so
original
dumb.
content.
No,
I thought you liked Bunny Call.
We'll leave it. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it for now.
It's not even connected to FNAF in any way.
No,
the night
it
goes
will-
from 5
that's-
a.m. to
you know
6
what?
a.m.
That's a good point. Let's just leave it
We'll
as
leave it-
is.
we'll
I
leave it-
just
we'll
want
leave
to
it-
call that out.
We'll
Don't
leave
have
it.
to move anything. I just want to call that out.
All right.
I would say, like, just touching on that, how it's not connected to FNAF. I think that makes it better because it takes the concepts of FNAF and does.
Oh,
new
shut
things
up,
with them.
Inky, you Fazbear.
all right. Friendly face.
All right, thank you so much for watching this video or listening to this
Alright.
episode. We're gonna
Wait,
we're
is that
gonna
on?
we're gonna see you guys next time. All right.
Sweet.
We're an hour.
For the finale.
We're gonna see you next time for the finale. Yeah. If you disagree with us, please tell us in the comments. Okay, that's it. Bye bye. Everyone's so angry. Say
It's
bye.
driving us crazy, and I love it.
This is
Bye.
we're gonna be just driven mad by the end of this.